Jane Duncan of Cloget, who resided at Rosemount St. John, died on Sunday 19th September 2021 at the age of 72. Left to Mona her husband Llewellyn Duncan, children Anne-Marie Mason, Raleigh and Ronnie Duncan, and Nicole Duncan Chance. Sisters Magdalene Lalit, Rosalind Quartley, and Verna Dabrio. Brothers Simon Gunpot and Fenton Budhu. Daughters-in-law Brenda and Melanie Duncan. Sons-in-law Peter Mason and Sherwin Chance. Grandchildren Brenda Lee and Brendan Duncan. Kimani and Kimron Smith. Shanique Chance. Tyler and Tara Duncan. Andrea and Ashley Batiste. Sisters-in-law Esther Bisoon, Joycelyn and Verna Baldio, and Joan Gopal. Brothers-in-law Henry and Winston Duncan. Many nieces and nephews including Peggy Benjamin, Laura Mangle, Chrislyn Charles, Gloria Mangle, Israel Ganpot, Frank Dabrio, Crystalline Passidy, Margaret Ned, Shirley Ann Harford, Angela Lord, and Eurus Segrest. Other relatives and friends including Sister Iris Francis, Micah Alexander, Sister Agneta Andrews, the pastors and members of the Grenada Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, the communities of Cloget, Redmond, and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Jane Duncan of Cloget, who resided at Rosemount St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Sarah Mark, also known as Little Thing of Montcraven St. Patrick, passed away on Monday, 6th September at the age of 10. She was the daughter of Edward Frame, also known as Maui, granddaughter of Lynette Scott, Lynette Frame, and Allen, sister of Naomi, Sheldon, Ruth, and Jason Mark, granddaughter of Letha Frame Phillip, Lynette Scott, Alan Williams, niece of many including Marva, Daltris, and Sherry and Frame, and Dora Mark, Salome and Jamal Phillip, Chris and Leon Mark. Many relatives and friends including the Mark, Fraser and Frame families, and loved ones in the surrounding areas of Montcraven, Chantemel, the principal, priests, staff and students of the St. Patrick's RC School, the Grenada Lions Club, the doctors, nurses, cooks and cleaners of the General Hospital, Miss Connis Modest and members of Marin Park Lions Club, Brooklyn, New York. The funeral service of the late Sarah Mark will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Gracelyn Veronica Lewis, also known as Sister Grace or Auntie Grace of Mount Craven St. Patrick, who resided at Jean Anglais St. George, former employee at Cinnamon Hill Hotel, passed away on Monday, 13 September 2021 at the age of 69. She was the mother of Sarana N. Lewis in Grenada and Glennis M. Riddick in the USA, grandmother of Andre S. Williams Jr., mother-in-law of Michael Riddick in the USA, sister of Judith McKee, Josephine, Glenna, Eustace, Dominic, Leroy and Jenna Lewis in Grenada, George and Augustine Lewis in Trinidad. Aunt of many including Nikitha Noel, O'Shea and Josanne McKee, Ronnie and Chard Lewis, and Andy Lewis in Canada. Many relatives and friends including Valerie Gilbert and Elizabeth Prince in the USA, Joan Stewart in Canada, Glenna Pilgrim, Grace Caliste and the Edgehill family of Jean Anglais, Teresa Nicholas, also known as Norrin, Patricia Hagley, Junior Francis, Cletus Sylvester, Deanne Mills, the pastor and members of the Revival Faith Temple of Mount Gay and New Hampshire, the management and staff of Spice Isle Imaging Center, the Nicholas family of Mount Parnassus, the Lewis family of Mount Craven, Happy Hill and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Gracelyn Veronica Lewis, also known as Sister Grace or Auntie Grace of Mount Craven St. Patrick, who resided at Jean Anglais St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. John Telesford, also known as Brigadier, of Windsor Forest, who resided at Bailey's Bacalet St. David, passed away on Tuesday, 14 September 2021, at the age of 81. He was the husband of Bernadette, father of Valerie, Eric, also known as Suki, Anastasia, Terry, Ingrid, Kevin, Ken Roy, also known as Yam, Nikki, and Mark. Grandfather of many, including Judlyn, Tara, Denisha, Natty, Socoria, Antonia, Soraya, Kenson, Jaden, and Nathan. Great-grandfather of many. Adopted father of Sebby Mitchell Francis, Sherlyn Mitchell, Vanessa Hagley, Leisha Hollingsworth, Lee Phillip, Nicole Cambridge, and Michelle Marichaux. Brother of Cynthia Telesford in Tobago, Bernadette Louiseau, and Joan Telesford. Brother-in-law of Keith, Jude, Jojo, Jocelyn, and Nestor. Nephew of Imelda and Alice. Many nieces and nephews, including Peterlyn and Roll Telesford, and Marlene Batiste. Father-in-law of Natasha Telesford, Tahira Phillip, and Supran Samuel. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends, including Denise Mitchell, Brenda Duncan, Trevor Joseph, Joan and family, the Telesford, Philip, Louiseau, Leslie, Andrew and Joseph families, Reginald Lord and family, and friends and neighbours of Bailey's Bacalet and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late John Telesford, also known as Brigadier of Windsor Forest, who resided at Bailey's Bacalet, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Teresa Olive Harris Bartholomew, also known as Pantene, of Beausejour St. George, who resided in Trinidad, passed away on Tuesday, 14th September 2021, at the age of 75, left to mourn her children Anne-Marie, Lindo, and Ian Harris in the U.S., Francis, Waldron, Louisa, and Martin Harris in Grenada, grandchildren Kayla, Jude, Kenson, Liran, Jeremy, Grabby, Francine, and Anika, great-grandmother of 15, mother-in-law of Alison and Raphael, sister of Carla Batiste and Mavis Waldron, sister-in-law of Anne Batiste, Yvonne Harris, and Jennifer Waldron. Many nieces and nephews in Grenada, England, and Trinidad. Other relatives and friends including Miss Ross and family, Celia Bruno in the U.S., Louise Kerr Green and family, the Harris family, the Waldron family in Colombia, the Hall, Bain, McQueen, and Batiste families of Beausejour and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Teresa Bartholomew, also known as Pantene of Beausejour St. George, who resided in Trinidad, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Leslie Wellington, also known as Bucky, Corporal, and Zoot, of Cotton Bailey St. John, passed away on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021, at the age of 70. He was the father of Desiree Williams, Brandon Wellington, Kizzy Thomas, Asha Wellington, Trisha Abraham, Jency Thomas and Christy Thomas in Grenada, Denver Abraham, Keisha Abraham Batiste, Jamar Quinton Louiseau, Clifton Cheddy Louiseau, and Cornelia Wellington in the USA. Grandfather of 29, great-grandfather of 2, brother of Everall in the United Kingdom, Norma Francis, Marilyn Andrew, Winston, Thera and Carlson Wellington in Grenada, Fitzroy Williams, also known as Pharaoh in the USA, and Brenda in Trinidad. Uncle of many including Father Carl Haynes and Brent Joseph. Many other relatives and friends including the Wellington, Williams, Baldwin and Thomas families, the Murray and James families of Rucane and Grandroy, Joan Abraham and family, the McEwen and Holder families, Vanessa Welch and family, the Louiseau family, Yato and family, the Antoine and Hector families, and friends and neighbours of Concord, Woodford, Grandroy, Marigot, Black Bay, and Victoria. The funeral of the late Leslie Wellington, also known as Bucky, Corporal, and Zoot, of Cotton Bailey St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Philip George Hyacinth, also known as Balu, of Brazan St. George, passed away on Wednesday, 15th September 2021, at the age of 68. He was the son of Vanilla Haynes, father of Siobhan, Sherwin, Fernando, Eugene, also known as Maisie, and Wendy in the USA. Adopted father of Lauren Charles. Brother of Yvonne and Veronica in Venezuela, Adeline in Canada, Melda in the USA, Emmanuel, Claudius, Martin, Randa, Shirley, and Glenna. Grandfather of Teresha, Tevon, Asim, Anaya, Lauren, Nathaniel, and Madison. Great-grandfather of 7. Uncle of 19. Brother-in-law of Mario, Etta, Kenneth, Cleopatra, Sally Ann, and Jude. Caregivers Alana and Glenna. Many relatives and friends including Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the Hyacinth family of Happy Hill, the Joseph family of Brazan, Cotton Bailey, and Mount Granby, the Charles family of Happy Hill, and friends and neighbors of Brazan, Beausejour, Happy Hill, Willis, and Concord. The funeral of the late Philip George Hyacinth, also known as Ballo, of Brazan St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Michael Ellis of St. Paul's, St. George, died on Wednesday, 15th September 2021, at the age of 64. Left to mourn his children Marcy, Candia, Karina, Shakira, Rashid, and Malia. Grandson Kelvin. Close companion Rena Bishop. Siblings Margaret, Alau, Don, Salim, George, Lesley-Ann, Belly, Cislin, and Gordon. Close relatives the Pascal and Ellis families, Francis Bishop, Lord Chris and family, the GBN family, Power FM, Gentle and family, Scratch and family, Tammy at Knight's Auto, Auntie Mab, and the Miners family. The funeral service and interment of the late Michael Ellis of St. Paul's, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Ralston Warren, also known as Vibrator and Spade, of Duquesne, St. Mark, who resided at River Road, St. George, passed away on Saturday, 11 September 2021, at the age of 61. He was the husband of Valda Warren, father of Felicia, Rondell, Rosetta, and Johanna, stepfather of Samantha and Kathira, grandfather of Chantel, Cameron, Kaya, and Kaelan, brother of Kathleen, Lyra, Carmen, Glenda, Levo, Dolan, and Kishana, uncle of Cornwall, Don, and Dunstan, nephew of many including David, Janice, Karen, Tasha, Anne-Marie, and Shirley, cousin of Berlin and Pamela, brother-in-law of many including Lionel, John, Angela, Marilyn, and Martin, many other relatives and friends including the Belfawn, Wilkins, and Andel families, the staff of Her Majesty's Prisons, members of the Calypso Association, and friends and neighbors of Duquesne and River Road. The funeral of the late Ralston Warren, also known as Vibrator and Spade, of Duquesne, St. Mark, who resided at River Road, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Maria Agnes Batiste, also known as Sister Maria and Sister, of Boca St. George, who resided at Mount Hartmont, St. George, died on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021, at the age of 79. Left to mourn are her husband Andrew Batiste, son Carly Paul, siblings Cecil St. Louis and Michael Stewart, Denise Stewart, Marvis Stewart, Claudia Payden, Jeffrey Stewart, Maud, Gladwin Paul, and Elred Stewart, daughter-in-law Hilary Paul, sisters-in-law Brenda Batiste, Joan Williams, Vernis Marichaud, and Jean Stewart, brothers-in-law Zephyrin Batiste and Leroy Batiste, grandchildren Chanel, Chantal, and Kendall Paul, many nieces and nephews including Jasmine, Corselia, Jacob, Kizzy, Albi, Tron, and Shanika. Other relatives and friends including Hazel Ann and Hanson Clarence, the Paul, Strawn, and Gibbs families of Boca, the Lazarus family of Grenville, the pastor and first lady and members of the New Life Chapel, Vendham, Charmaine Paul Hittilal, Anne Griffith, Gloria Palmer, Elizabeth Jones, Jean Lessie, Veronica Charles, also known as Thin Thin, Paula Cato, and Raymond Julian. The funeral of the late Maria Agnes Baptiste, also known as Sister Maria and Sister of Boca, who resided at Mount Hartman, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Merrill Forsyth of Laurelland, St. David, passed away on Saturday, 11th September 2021, at the age of 71. She was the mother of Lynn Alexander, Glenn, Vaughan, Karen, Adrienne, and Cyprian Forsyth, adopted mother of Eleanor, Garvin, Ivor, Alicia, and Nadine Lett, and Roland Telesford, and Pauline Lett Anderson, stepmother of Gwyneth Paul Steele, grandmother of Ariel Toussaint, Tarek Rayborn, Cassidy Foray, Maya Alexander, Gemini Collins, Kiana Caden, Shanique, Zadrian, Zarian, Zende, Xavier, Nilani, and Nia Simone Forsyth, mother-in-law of Montgomery Alexander, Esther, Siobhan, Shamara, and Nicole Forsyth, sister of Violet Sylvester, Alison Sylvester John, Bernadette Pitt, and Michael Greenwich, sister-in-law of Phyllis Forsyth and Daphne Brown Greenwich. Many nieces and nephews in Grenada, the USA, the UK, and Canada, including Aisha and Ishmael John, Patricia, Basil, Don, Hannah and Jason Forsyth, Monique Thorne, Leonard Bubb, and Delroy Sylvester, niece of Louise Sylvester. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Dame Cecile Lagrenard, Jocelyn Sylvester Gary, Siddiqui and Paul Sylvester, Bernadette Thomas and family, Thomas Alexis and family, Myra Gabriel and family, Ursula Gabriel and family, George Cherubin and family, Glenna Knight and family, Derek Telesford, Esther Fletcher, Patricia Garraway, Phyllis Hagley, Rennie Rush, Kashina Mitchell, Hermione Klein, Alison Miller, Catherine Langine, Father Carl Hayes, and the St. Dominic's Catholic Church community, the communities of Laurelland, Pedmota, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Merrill Forsyth of Laurelland, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Lambert Noel, also known as Lambie or Bambi, of Windsor Forest, St. David, who resided at Laurelland, St. David, died on Thursday, 16th September 2021, at the age of 77. Left to mourn are his 4 children, Gillian Charles, Hazelyn Charles, Wayne Noel, and Roland Jelliso, sisters Augusta Campbell, Gloria, Giulietta and Onika Douglas, Leslie and Joseph, Marcel Street and Teresa Paul, brothers Justin and Anthony Douglas, grandchildren Nyron, Marcus, Angel, Winnell, Lishon, Ryan, Rhea, Kalisha, Alicia, Anika, Simone, Jordan, Lorianne, and Lennon. Great-grandchildren including Odell, Jonelle, Markel, and Kamhal. Nieces including Shonali, Shorna, Marsha and Jesse Douglas, and Sharma Pear. Nephews including Nicholas Douglas, Kivon Pear, and Francis John. Father-in-law of Francine Dominic and Noreen Jelliso. Brother-in-law of Deacon Campbell, Curtis Joseph, and Joseph John. Close relatives including Rebecca Douglas, Margaret Andrews, Christine Redhead, and Alice in Tobago, the Douglas, Andrews, and Sayers families of Windsor Forest, the John family of Pedmota, and the Hostin family of Laurelland. Close friends including Thomas Walters, Michael Simon, Helen Alder, Esther Fletcher, Sylvia Samuel, the Batiste and Hagley families of Laurelland, Nurse Frederick and the staff of the Pedmota Medical Station, Nikita Allard, and friends and neighbours of Laurelland, Windsor Forest, Pedmota, Beaton and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Lambert Noel, also known as Lambie or Bambi, of Windsor Forest, who resided at Laurelland, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Tyrone Benjamin, also known as Frankie, of Grandon, St. George, who resided in the USA, passed away on Monday, 6th September 2021, at the age of 44. He was the son of Deltris Benjamin and Franklin Patterson, brother of Stephen Batson, Devon, Charlie, Gillian, Lisa, and Joselle, nephew of Agnes Scott in the USA, Dora Pilgrim in Canada, Augustine Bruno, and Cecil Bruno, uncle of Christopher, Keyshawn, Jim, Arkim, Kemola, Nika, Kenisha, Shema, Zoe, Richard, Shevin, Chantel, Jamoya, and Aniska. Close friend of Camille Morales in the USA, Marcia, Althea, Perry, Ray, and Tracia. Other close relatives and friends including members of the Grand Anse basketball team, Paul McIntyre, colleagues of the Norwegian cruise liner, and friends and neighbors of Grand Anse and surrounding areas. A memorial service for the late Tyrone Benjamin, also known as Frankie, of Grand Anse St. George, who resided in the USA, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Beloved Reverend Leader Anthony Nesbitt Antwine, also known as Nesso, Courage, and Brother, an ex-truck driver of Pomerose St. David, departed this life on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021, at the age of 86, left to mourn his children Rita, Michelle, Patsy, Selwyn Antwine, Rena Creft, Sean Brown and Valerie Ross in Canada, Fitzroy Twino Antwine, Violet Lumpers and Joan Skerritt in the USA, Augustine Master Willie Licorice, Magdalene Licorice, Anselm Noel, Martin Lumpris, Raymond Antwine, and Michelle Antwine Thomas in Grenada. Father-in-law of Rudolph, Casabal, Beverly, Patricia, and Andrew in Canada, Judy and Bishop Christopher in the US, June, Celia, Selma, and China in Grenada. 75 grandchildren including Kimberly, Wendy, Alicia, Candice, Kendon, and Rihanna in Canada, Ryan and Peter in the United States, Carvel, Nefa, Ricia, Debbie Ann, Neilon, grandson, Nolan, Samantha, Chanel, Ian, Afia, Neil, Nakia, and Shirley Ann in Grenada. 90 great-grandchildren including Nikel and Nikela, Leslie, Jaden, and Jalisa. Brother of Christabel Thompson in the USA and Jocelyn St. Louis and Raphael Mitchell in Grenada. Brother-in-law of 2. Many nieces and nephews in Canada, the USA, Trinidad, and Grenada. Caretaker Lynette Hagley. Other close relatives and friends including Dana Alexander and family, Bishop Cox and family, the Antwine, Sylvester, Licorice, Moraine, Lett, Lumpers, Mitchell, Felix, Thompson, and Wickham families, and the McIntosh family of Carriacou, the members of the Mount Zion Spiritual Baptist Church and all spiritual Baptist churches, and neighbors and friends of Pomerose and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Reverend Leader Anthony Nesbitt Antwine, also known as Nesso, Courage, and Brother, of Pomerose St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Lester John Pradisam, also known as Punka, of Cornets Walk, Grove, St. John, who resided at Brazan, St. George, passed away on Monday, September 20th, 2021, at the age of 72. He was the husband of Agatha, also known as Stella, father of Claire Sylvester, also known as Anse, and Candice Drakes in the USA, stepfather of Clyde Campbell, also known as Sam, adopted father of Rudolph Superville, grandfather of 12 including Corey, Crystal, AJ, and Josiah, brother of Eileen Inez Sam and Mystica Lewis in the UK, and Lillian Ferguson in Grenada, uncle of 32 including Catherine Joseph, Carlos Pecos Lewis, Sonia Ferreira, Jay and Janelle Ferguson, Maureen Church, Margaret and Anderson Sam, Quinta Francis, and Wilbert Tiggy Sam. Grand uncle of 81 including Odette Sam, Kristen Sam Henry, Delroy Wilson, Akebi Sam, Vondel Noel, Reese Sam, Dorian Williams, Tricia Tampe, Keisha Cox, and Michael Wickham. Great-grand-uncle of 32. Father-in-law of Rodney Sylvester and Jeffrey Drakes. brother-in-law of Alwyn Ferguson, Dennis Superville, Wilson Charles, and Sandra Alexander. Many other relatives and friends including Raphael, Johnny and Bertilda Superville, Mavis Joseph, the Praddy and Dakota families in Grenada and abroad, the Sam family of St. John, St. Andrew, and St. George, the Superville, Lewis, Joseph, Watts, Haynes, and Cooper families, the management and staff of Grenada Ports Authority, and friends and neighbours of Brazan, Grove, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Lester John Praddy Sam of Cornets Walk, Grove, St. John, who resided at Brazan, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Rebecca Joycelyn Collins, née Cummings, of Mount Fendew, St. Patrick, who resided at Paddock, St. George, passed away on Tuesday, 21st September 2021. She was the mother of many Collins, Wilmoth Collins, also known as Shy, Glenroy Collins, also known as Figs, grandmother of many, including Dexter Prince Collins, Carrie, Keisha, Christy, Shamar, and Dorian George, great-grandmother of Caden MacDonald, Jerome, and Jarell, sister of Joan Cummings, aunt of many including Michael and Gwen Cummings and Margaret Richards, mother-in-law of Carmaine Gallucci, Sonia Collins, and Maureen Collins, many other relatives and friends including the staff of the Hillsview Home Grove, and friends and neighbours of Paddock, Belmont, and Springs, St. George. The funeral of the late Rebecca Joycelyn Collins, née Cummings, of Mount Fendew, St. Patrick, who resided at Paddock, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. George Bernard St. John, also known as Monty, of Mardi Gras, St. George, former manager and director of Barclays Bank Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and the United Kingdom, died on Saturday, 25th September 2021, at the age of 76, left to mourn his sons Richard and Marcus St. John, daughters-in-law Lisa Mitchell St. John and Michelle Cabral St. John, grandchildren Jordan, Marcus, Mariel, and Maya St. John, sisters Phyllis Murray, Norma Buxo, Annette Knight, and Valerie Monroe, brothers Morris and Robert St. John, Sir Walter St. John, and Claude Douglas St. John, sisters-in-law Anne Bishop, Kathy, Lady Yvonne and Valencia St. John, Pauline Leahy St. John, and Helen Spielman, brother-in-law Clifford Murray, many nieces, nephews, colleagues, and friends including Senator Chester Humphrey, Anne and Camille Humphrey, Angela Humphrey Lewis, Michael, Christopher, Margot, Connie, Nancy, Basil, Paul and Alvin St. John, the Gravy and Steele families, Nelson Lewis, Hugh Dolland, Michael Miners, and Sandy Bain, caregiver and household assistant Bernadine Horsford. The funeral service and interment of the late George St. John will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Sonia Belinda Wilson, also known as Cousin Sonia, of Mount Pleasant, Carriacou, passed away on Sunday, 12th September 2021, at the age of 84. She was the mother of William Simon, also known as Smokes, and Pauline, Sandra, and Anne Simon, grandmother of Morris, Cordelia, Shamika, Dwayne, and Lamayan, great-grandmother of Kia, Morgan, Amari, Harlem, Tishon, and Taraji, aunt of Leslie and Barry Simon, Jill, Roll, Gillian and Rudy Delisle, Angela and Ian Simon. Many other relatives and close friends including Mary, Don and Monica Noel, Rita Noel McQuilkin, Joseph Noel, Emmanuel and Eileen Lang, Alma Phipps, Iris and David Russell, Laurel Lang, Gertrude Niles, Elmina Batiste, the Noel and Simon families in Carriacou, the United States, the UK, Trinidad, and in Canada, and many others of Mount Parnassus and surrounding areas, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Sonia Belinda Wilson, also known as Cousin Sonia, of Mount Pleasant, Carriacou, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Clarice Elizabeth Moses Bowen Rubin of Laurelland, St. David, who resided in Laventille, Trinidad and Tobago, died on September 21, 2021, at the age of 74, left to Mona her children, Madeline, Michael, Marlene, Desmond, Hilroy in Canada, Karen, Kim and Terence in Grenada, close friend Joseph Gilbert, sisters Janice, Yolande and Cheryl in the USA, Deidre and Janice in Grenada, brothers Francis in the USA, Lenroy, Joseph, Kenneth, Thaddeus, Albert, Tony, Lennox and Patrick in Grenada, 16 grandchildren, 9 great-grands, many nieces including Atlin Jones, sister-in-law Maria Gilbert, many other in-laws including Samson Otto, Joan Simmons Moses, Albert and Carol Bailey, and Nadia McNeil Moses. Other relatives and friends including the Gilbert, Moses, Bowen and Blackett families of Beaton and Rucane St. David. The funeral service for the late Clarice Elizabeth Moses Bowen Rubin of Laurelland, St. David, who resided in Laventille, Trinidad and Tobago, will be held privately, followed by private interment. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. May Agnes Thomas, also known as Auntie May of Moran St. John, passed away on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021, at the age of 99. She was the mother of Carl Wilson in England, Barbara Dodds in Trinidad, Faye, Erickson and Terry Thomas, grandmother of Garfield Roberts, Chad, Dwight, Joel, Gemma and Kitster Thomas, Naomi and Carol Wilson, Wendell Dodds and Wazim Thomas, great-grandmother of many including Ishmael and Jadia Thomas, Shadell, Zion and Niley, many nieces and nephews including Matthew, Eric and Sharon Thomas, Maureen Dialli, Joan and Ellen Benjamin, Ronald Vincent and Deslyn Thomas in Trinidad, grand-aunt of Jimmy Dupre, Edris and Glenna, mother-in-law of Vilma and Molly Thomas, Esther Thomas in Carriacou, and Ezra Wilson. Other relatives and friends including Pastor and Mrs. Pariag and family, Oslin Radix Thomas, Albert Forsyth and family, the Thomas and Bain families of Douglaston, the Thomas family of Shantimel and in Trinidad, the Honourable Clarice Modeste, Marjorie Straker and family, and friends and neighbours of Moran St. John. The funeral of the late May Agnes Thomas, also known as Auntie May of Moran St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Homes. Cyril Williams of Rucane St. David died on Saturday, 18th September 2021, at the age of 93, left to mourn his children Dudley, Glenn, Trevor and Curtis Williams, Michael Thomas, Merle Dow, Cecilia Braveboy, Hammy and Natasha, 35 grandchildren, 42 great-grands, 5 great-great-grandchildren, siblings Sir Daniel, Freddie, Victor, Percival and Lucy Williams, and Elaine Stewart, in-laws Benedict Braveboy, Cecil Dow, Donna Williams in the US, Margaret Williams in Canada, Karen and Julia Williams, caretaker Luren Daniel. Other close relatives and friends, including Christelle and Chrisma Charles, Agnes Williams, Joyce, the Williams and Blesdale families of St. David. The funeral service and interment of the late Cyril Williams of Rucane St. David will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Thaddeus George Greenidge, also known as Taddy, of Bolio, Snowcorner, St. George, passed away on Saturday, 25th September, at the age of 78. Left to mourn his cherished wife, Marina Penny Greenidge, children, Alandi, Christopher, and Anderson Andy Baptiste in the USA, his daughters, Princess, Vic, and Pascal, residing in Grenada, adopted daughter, Candia Bascom Hayward, residing in Bermuda, brothers, Bernard Greenidge, residing in the USA, Cecil Greenidge and James Andrew in Grenada, 3 sisters, Patricia Greenidge Boca, residing in Canada, Phyllis Canterbury, residing in Barbados, and Yvonne Superville, residing in Grenada, 5 grandchildren, all residing abroad, several nieces and nephews, Son-in-law Patrick Pascal in Grenada. Daughters-in-law Abigail Penny and Carol Alexander Batiste in the USA. Special mention of a close and dear friend of the family, Mrs. Veronica James of Beaulieu. Other relatives and friends including Augustine John, Ken Salvini, the Greenwich and Gilbert family of Beaulieu, Tobin family of Lamode, the Penny, Jones, Adolphus and Alexander family of Boca and Beaulieu, Monroe family in Trinidad, Lawrence family, and the Renwick family residing in England. Other neighbors and close friends of Beaulieu including the Beaulieu Church community and Father Sean Doggett. Many other friends and relatives too numerous to mention. The funeral service and interment of the late Thaddeus George Greenwich will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Wilfred Benedict Batiste, also known as Soap, of Winter Forest St. David, who resided at Richmond Hill St. George, retired employee of NOWASA, passed away on Tuesday, 21st September at the age of 70. He was a spouse of Patricia Mitchell, father of Rosalind, Rosemary, Chantal, Kay, Alicia, Ashton, Jamal, Trevor, and Tisha, stepfather of Camille Mitchell, Clunis, and Jason Mitchell in the USA, brother of Agatha Batiste Alexis, Bernadette and Alan Batiste, Philbert, also known as Murphy in Grenada, Joan, Hermeline, Leroy, and Barry in the USA, Magna and Bernadette in Trinidad, grandfather of Tyrick, Zayden, Caden, Charisse, Rishon, Azalia, Alia, Tia, Tamara, Zane, and Kwesi, brother-in-law of many including Rhoda and Herbert, father-in-law of David Noel and Declan Ashton, uncle of many including Cherry Annam, Galen, Charles, Chrislyn, Janelle, Ashley, Randy, Andre, and Lystra. Other relatives and friends including Adrian Persuader Thomas, Neil Alexander, Richard Pear, Charles Hippolyte, Ingrid Stanterbury, Mitchell and Thomas family of Vincent, the Francis, Black, Scott, Charles and Batiste family, Milton Garway, Janice Mitchell and family, friends and neighbors of Winter Forest, Richmond Hill and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Wilfred Benedict Batiste of Winter Forest in David, who resided at Richmond Hill St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lockwell Brothers Funeral Home. Davidson Roberts, also known as Davo of Dunfermline St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 25th September at the age of 66. He was the father of Fionn John in the US, Delon Joseph in Canada, Donnelly, Donica, Lydia, Davis, and Devon all in Grenada. Grandfather of many including Donisha, Lindsay, Tariq, Kimberly, Donson, Corinne, Whitney, Dave, Abrian, and Blunya. Brother of Sterling, Nadia, Valerie, Gweno, Marisha, Priscilla, Renard, Richie, Ron, all in the UK, Rita in the US, Sheila in Trinidad, Trevor and Johnson Booker, Derek and Deron Nayak, Evadne, Joycelyn, Anne, and Virginia all in Grenada. Nephew of Christine Purcell, Alan Pope, and John Juggy. Uncle of Deborah, Dale, Kaya, Tanya, Travi, Paul, Kelly, and Curly. Many other relatives and friends including Orvis, Corporal Chanel of Lapotrie, Shirleyan, Claudette, Nayak family, Neda and Purcell families of Hermitage, Richnell in Canada, friends and neighbors of Dunfermline, Paradise, Pearls, Lafayette, Tivoli, Moya, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Davidson Roberts of Dunfermline St. Andrew will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Gladys Danielle of Walker St. Andrew resided at the Hilarion Home St. Patrick, retired accountant of George F. Huggins, passed away on Thursday, 16th September at the age of 96. She was a mother of Peter George. Sister of Corona Joyce Andrew, also known as Teacher Caro in the US. Grandmother of Devon, Megan, Peter, Kurt, Davis, Delia, and Amanda. Grandmother of many. Aunt of many including Belinda Henwood and sisters, Louise Daniel and siblings, Valerie Daniel and siblings, godmother of Yola and Noel and family, caretakers Meryl Charles, Rolanda Nichols and Dennis Jones, many cousins, other relatives and friends in the USA, Canada, England, Germany and the Caribbean including John Dumont, Cynthia Dumont Blackman and siblings, Avis Mason, staff and residents of the Hilarion home, friends and neighbors of Walker and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Gladys Daniel of Walker St. Andrew, resided at the Hilarion home St. Patrick, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lockwar Brothers Funeral Home.
Andy Jr. Curtin of Creighton, who resided at Grand Anse Valley and at Calavigny St. George, Principal Officer of Her Majesty's Prisons, died on Saturday 25th September 2021 at the age of 48. He was the son of Kingston Harry, fiancé of Jacintha Nestor Cummings, father of Shane and Shannon Curtin, Jr., Andrea and Sherry Ann Julian, and DeAndre Bowen and Baby K. Curtin, brother of Linda and Judy Greenidge in Grenada, Yvonne Greenidge in Tobago, David Curtin, Michael Curtin, Kingsley Harry, Anthony Edwards, Judith Williams, Winston Joseph and Gary Harry in Trinidad, Nigel Garcia, Nicole Pear, Chrislyn Cummings and Delon Williams. Adopted son of Derek John and Mr. and Mrs. Leslie Bailey. Nephew of Suzanne and Claudine, Rafael, Rodriguez, Adrian and Manu Harry. Uncle of Corinne Curtin, Mahalia, Kellyanne, Jasmine and Joel Greenidge, Sean Knights and Felicia Auguste Courtney. Son-in-law of Joyce and Jim Cummings. Other friends including the Commissioner, the rank and file members of Her Majesty's Prisons, past and present, inmates of Her Majesty's Prisons, Denzel Bowen and the Dominion Guys by Eyes Shop, Grand Anse Valley, the Greenidge, Curtin, Cummings and Harry families, and friends and neighbors of Creighton, Monjaloo, Richmond Hill, Grand Anse Valley and Calavigny St. George. The funeral service and interment of the late Andy Jr. Curtin of Creighton, who resided at Grand Anse Valley and Calavigny St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Edward Jonathan Murrell, also known as Natterman, of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Wednesday 15th September 2021 at the age of 80. He was the father of Jana Batiste in the USA, Andy in Canada, Ken in Trinidad, Wayne Frank, Alan, John, Roe, Lisa, Don and Helen in Grenada. Stepfather of Trevor Francis, brother of Ellis, Nathaniel and Wellington Murrell, Samson and Peter Paris in the USA, Charles Murrell in Grenada, Amelia Greenidge and Albertha Dyer in Trinidad, and Myrtle Placid in the USA. Grandfather of many including Shania, Kareem, Kanisha, Curlin, Chad, Romar, Ronisha, Rianne, and Rihanna Charles. Great-grandfather of many including Michaela, Riley, and Kelsey in Canada. Father-in-law of Joyce, Frank, and Christine Murrell. Uncle of many including Sharon Bridgman Scott, Maria Johnson, Eula Superville, Sonia and Glenn McKee, Jerry Placid, Don Valsin, all in the USA, and Bruce Murrell in Grenada. Other relatives and friends including Simon Williams, Augustine John, Julian Bain, The Boys by Ona and Boosie Boy Shop, Eileen Thomas, William Crow and family, the Williams, Noel and Murrell families of New Hampshire and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Edward Jonathan Murrell, also known as Natterman of New Hampshire St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Rita Darius of Pierre Marie Crochu St. Andrew, who resided in the United Kingdom, passed away on Thursday 9th September 2021 at the age of 73. She was the sister of Olive Darius in Canada, Rosie Teresa Gilbert, Cecil in the United States, Frances Darius, Gloria in Grenada, Maria Fraser in the UK, Jean Mitchell, Enoch in the US, Jacintha Gill, Ken in the United States, and Francis Thomas in the USA. Sister-in-law of many, including Joycelyn Darius in the US. Aunt of many, including Mauricia Darius Guichard, Kirk Ward and Petlin Darius Steele, Andy, Vaughan, Dwight, Shauna Darius, Maxine and Carleen Mitchell, Dillon, Francis, Alex and Amber Darius, Kerry Gill, Jude and Marvin Fraser, Curtis Mitchell, Worrell David and Fran Marichaux. Niece of Mary Fraser and Erlyn Sylvester in Trinidad. Many cousins, other relatives and friends, including Valentine, Marcel K. and Theodore T. John, Joan, Lydia, Lloyd, Gail, Joel, Vincent, Patsy, Eugene, Julie, Dolores, Venita, Eunette, Daphne and Carvel, Vita, Joan, Irma, Nortion, Christina, Grace, Gary and Mel Summer, Peggy and Finn Bapere, Venda Havies, Ingrid Clark, Eula, Esther and Claudia Hippolyte, Velda Samuel and Monica Entwine, and friends and neighbours of Crowshoe and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Rita Darius of Pierre Marie Crowshoe St. Andrew, who resided in the United Kingdom, will take place on Tuesday, October 5th in the UK. Arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Laurie Maguire, also known as Pass, Rev and Chappie, pastor of Shantymill Pentecostal Church of Maryborough St. Andrew, passed away on Thursday, 16th September at the age of 53. He was the husband of Luan Maguire, father of Josh and Lorian Maguire, adopted father of Suan Nelson, adopted grandfather of Kyna Nelson, son of Fred Maguire, brother of Tyrell and Joel Maguire, Gwendolyn, Maudlin, Agnes, Diane, Wendy, Sally and Nancy, son-in-law of Magdalene Renaud, brother-in-law of Nadia, Lorna Regis, Aunt Nicole, Sheldon and Gary Jack, Larry Thomas and Jackie Wells, uncle of 10. Many other relatives and friends including Dennis King, Pastor and Mrs. Joseph Rayburn, Courtney Bridgman, Pastor Ricardo Aline, Pastor Shirley Simpson, Pastor Godfrey Reed, Pastor Michael Martin, congregation and members of Shantymill Pentecostal Church, pastor and members of PAWI Grenada District, doctor and nurses of Princess Alice Hospital, friends and neighbors of Maryborough, Bylands and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Laurie Maguire of Maryborough St. Andrew will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Barbara and Norris Lewis of Birchgrove St. Andrew passed away on Wednesday 8th and Thursday 16th September 2021 at the age of 99 and 103. Left to mourn are their children Stella in Trinidad, Chris, Aline, Patricia Lewis and David Lewis in the United Kingdom, several grand, great-grand and great-great-grandchildren, many other relatives and friends including the McQueen and Forrester families of Birchgrove, and friends and neighbours of Birchgrove and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Barbara and Norris Lewis of Birchgrove St. Andrew will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Ralph Anthony Fisher of River Road, St. George, passed away on Friday, 3rd September 2021 at the age of 85. He was the father of Marilyn in Canada, Claudette in New York, Joyce, Neil and Agnes in Trinidad, Richard in Grenada and Ralph in England, stepfather of Jenny in Canada, Daphne in Venezuela and Victor in Grenada, brother of Christine, Angela and Ancilla in Trinidad, Annette and Alexia in Texas, Francis and Leroy in Trinidad, and Theo in California, grandfather of 17, great-grandfather of 29, step-grandfather of 10, father-in-law of Lenny Harvey and Andrea Fisher, his caregiver, Ali and Allen. Many other close relatives and friends including the Fisher family of St. David, the Doyle family, the Crosby family of Victoria, Herman Mello Peters, Alison Harrison, the Frederick and Simon families of Victoria, and friends and neighbours of River Road. The funeral of the late Ralph Anthony Fisher of River Road, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Homes. Godwin Telesford, also known as Dempsey, of Vendham, who resided at Cemetery Hill, St. George's, former employee of Grenada Seamen and Waterfront Workers Union, passed away on Thursday, September 16, 2021, at the age of 78. He was the husband of Hannah Telesford, father of Eileen Telesford, deceased, Trevor Clement, Joseph Clement, Nancy Telesford in Canada, Ricky Telesford, and Rhonda Telesford in Canada. Stepfather of Valerie Clement, Danny Clement, deceased, Mohan, Shezel, Shamila, and Rohan Wahid in Guyana. Brother of Agneta Alexander, also known as Dada, Stephen Derrick in the USA, Luther Telesford, deceased, Xavier Telesford, and Daphne Telesford. Father-in-law of Dennis Clement, Valin McCrae in Canada, and Arlene Dadia Telesford. Grandfather of Michael Otway, Tricia, Shawnell and Rihanna Clement, Amy McCrae in Canada, Joshua, Rowan and Ezekiel Telesford in Canada, Isaiah and Kyla Telesford. Uncle of Gregory Telesford, John Telesford, also known as Giggy Boy, Charmaine Telesford, Sally and Derek in the USA, Anthony, Agatha, Cheryl, Fitzroy, Dexter, Annie, Denari, Popo Boy, Sally-Ann, Elvis, Boyo, David, Samantha, Dawn, and Naomi. Other relatives including the Telesford family of Willis and St. David, the Hamilton family of Vendham, the Alexanders, the Thomas family, the Walker family, the McBone family, the Francis family, the Wahids in Guyana, and many others. Friends and neighbors of Cemetery Hill including Loverboy, Jean Palmer, and at Vendham, St. David, the Grenada Seamen and Waterfront Workers Union, Darbo, Guyana, and many more. The funeral of the late Godwin Telesford, also known as Dempsey, of Vendham, who resided at Cemetery Hill, St. George's, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Winsley McLeish of Snellhall, St. Patrick, passed away on Sunday, 19 September 2021, at the age of 82. He was the father of Handel, Alina, and Hansel, grandfather of Amaya, brother of Clary, Amster, Jurian McLeish, Jim Sylvan, Nita Bernard, Donna, and Clarina McLeish, brother-in-law of Jane, Norma, Lucy, Merlin, Erlin, and Sandra. Many nieces and nephews including Hilary, Anneth, Sarana, Allison, Kathy, Rhea, Betty, Sharon, Martin, Jensen, Wayne, Larry, Earl, Vernon, also known as Tempe, Richard, and Glenn. Many other relatives and close friends including Veronica, Tony, Lincoln, Uncle Joe, the guys from Bend the Corner, Raymond Courtney, the McLeish, Paul, and Best families, the Alexander family of Snellhall and Medays, the Patrick, James, Noel, Pascal, Cheddick, and Williams families, the Phillip family in Trinidad, and friends and neighbours of Snellhall and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Winsley McLeish of Snellhall St. Patrick will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Homes.
Dominic Eustace Lucas, also known as Sonny, and Cope Garden of Lower Deputy Street, Guelph St. John, passed away on Saturday, 4th September, at the age of 88. He was the husband of Rosalind Lucas, father of Laurie, also known as Chapel, Maxine in the UK, Donica in the USA, Rodney in Australia, Levi, Lynn, Leon, and Kevin in the UK, Karen in the USA, Wendy in Grenada, great and great-grandfather of many, brother of Bernard in the USA, Gloria in Trinidad, brother-in-law of Jocelyn, Emmon, and Solomon in Canada, uncle of many other relatives and friends including Junior James, Theodore Peters, George, Vincent, friends and neighbors of Upper and Lower Deputy Street, Clogier, Loreto, Florida, and Douglaston, and the UK. The funeral for the late Dominic Eustace Lucas of Upper Deputy Street, Guelph St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Home.
Olive Agatha Hazard of Syracuse St. David passed away on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021, at the age of 86. She was the mother of Lennox Hazard in the USA, Eugenie Mason, Wayne and Patrick Hazard. Grandmother of 18. Great-grandmother of 11, including Jenna and Keziah. Mother-in-law of George Mason and Rosalind Hazard. Sister of Eulene Francis. Caregivers, Michelle Purcell, Humphrey Hazard, and Tara McMeo. Many other close relatives and friends, including the Francis family of Mount Tranquil, the Hazard family, Miss Eileen, Bobsy Joseph, Cosel Francis, Serla Waldron, Cicely Chateau, Margot Francis, and Miss Pearline, and friends and neighbors of Syracuse and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Olive Agatha Hazard of Syracuse St. David will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Barbara Vivek Williams, also known as Teacher Barbara, of Hermitage, who resided at Montrose St. Patrick, passed away on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021, at the age of 98. She was the mother of Claudia, Trevor, Agnes and Jacinta Vivek in the USA, Rufus and Myrna Vivek in Grenada. Grandmother of 11, including Brent and Barry Charles, and Jamaic Vivek. Great-grandmother of 4. Sister of Veronica Murray in the USA, Delano, Ryan and Jarvis Vivek in Grenada. Mother-in-law of Edris Lewis Vivek. Many other relatives and friends, including the Vivek family of Montmoritz, River Sally, and in the USA, the Williams and Dakota families of Montrose, the St. Paul family of Tempe, Irma Vivek and family, John Vivek and family in Trinidad, Coghlan Charles, the management and staff of Chichester's nursing home, and friends and neighbors of Hermitage, Montrose, Tivoli, and Lapo Tree St. Andrew. The funeral of the late Barbara Vivek Williams, also known as Teacher Barbara, of Hermitage, who resided at Montrose St. Patrick, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Veronica Latouche, also known as Miss Vero and Auntie Litline, of Grandaunt's House in Scheme St. George, died on Thursday, 23rd September 2021, at the age of 84. Left to mourn her husband Danny Latouche, brothers and sisters-in-law including Judy Mango, daughters Miriam Hall Regis and Eugenia Mango Lord, sons-in-law Eric Regis and Andrew Lord, grandchildren Kizzy, Cornell, Andrea, Abigail and Kyle, grandson-in-law Saron Shaw, great-grandchildren Akila, Akira and McCaden, brothers Eris, Andrew, Fabian and Alpheus, sisters Lorna Horsford and Pamela in Trinidad, Theodora and Claudia Whiteman in the U.S., and Jean Elcock, 60 nieces and nephews including Marian, Janelle, Janelle, Owen, Alice, Wayne, Wendy, Joachim Philip, Marva, Sarisa, Shane, Nasona, Nakishi, Monica, Sparrow, Esther, Karen, Aunt Mavis, Lucy, Jeanette, Donica, and Donna in Trinidad. Many cousins too numerous to mention. Godchildren Debbie Hall in Canada and Dr. Rohan Cummings. Close friends Kathleen Francis, Cummings and family, Mrs. Graham and Joseph of Grandaunt's House in Scheme, Allison and family of Latante St. David, and Celia Hall in Canada. Caretaker Miss Angela Joseph. Other relatives and friends including the Horsford, Francis, Felix, Hall, Williams, Tellisford, Frank, St. Louis, Gibbs, Latouche, Elcock, Mungo, Charles, Fraser and Darius families, Dr. Maguire, the staff of Building and Loan, members of the Blessed Sacrament Church, and friends and neighbors of Grandaunt's House in Scheme, the Limes, Retreat, Pomrose, and Redgate St. David. The funeral service and interment of the late Veronica Latouche, also known as Miss Vero and Auntie Litline, of Grandaunt's House in Scheme St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Iselin Ruthlin Caliste of Paradise St. Andrew passed away in British Columbia, Canada, at the age of 84. She is mourned by her daughter Lynn, son-in-law Nicholas, granddaughters Aquila and McKinney, siblings George, Avis, Carly, and Luetha, nieces, nephews, other family members and friends including Patricia, Alorna, Mintrude, Marilyn, Lynthia, Martin, John, Dr. Corey and Valerie Cowan, her nurse Angela Owen, Dr. Kosensky and staff at the BCCA. The funeral of the late Iselin Ruthlin Caliste of Paradise St. Andrew will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Creswell Derek Romney, also known as Cressy, of Central Grove Estate, St. John, passed away on Friday, 24th September 2021, at the age of 59. He was the son of Audrey Romney, brother of Leslie, Lennox, Roy, Terence, Diana, Denise, and Vilma, uncle of Darren, Zico, Ziggy, Nigel, Dillon, Ronnie, Denat, Marlon, Lanisa, Leisha, Keisha, Diane, Letitia, Kay, Adana, Turlin, and Zanita. Brother-in-law of Monica, Marlene, Kester, and Val. Many relatives and friends including Leisha Collins, Carol and Betty Ann, Earl Charles, Wilma Alexander, Mosley Pear, Steva Charles, Esther St. Cyr, William Modeste, Rosalind Charles, Michael Wilson, Beverly Campbell, Sherma Straker, Samson Edwards, Ina Alexis and Andy Joseph and their families, the Honorable Alvin Dabrio, the Honorable Clarice Modeste Cohen, the Congregation of Grove Seventh-day Adventist Church, and friends and neighbors of Central Grove Estate and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Creswell Derek Romney, also known as Cressy, of Central Grove Estate, St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Osbert Grimes, also known as OG, of Laborie, who resided at Vendham St. George, passed away on Sunday, 26th September 2021, at the age of 74. He was the father of Devon, Selwyn, Nerissa, Camille, and Alec, grandfather of Tonika, Naomi, Cameron, and Rayshawn, brother of Stanley, Clyde, Vaughn, Simon, Rosemary Stanislaus, née Grimes, and Ethelyn Grimes in the United Kingdom, brother-in-law of Caleb Stanislaus and Leah Grimes. Many other relatives and friends including the Slocum, Philip, Bascom and Haynes families, the Stanislaus family of Markey, the Dolland and Mathlin families, former staff of Liat, Spice Basket and Today's Wonders Limited, and friends and neighbors of Vendham, St. Paul's and Beaulieu. The funeral of the late Osbert Grimes, also known as OG, of Laborie, who resided at Vendham St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Eric Martin Rogers of Monsili resided in Ladigue St. Andrew and Toronto, Canada, passed away on Friday, 27th August at the age of 49. She was the son of Brenda Rogers, brother of Dahlia Rogers, Derek Rogers, Antonia Francois, Sharon Duncan, Aaron Moses, Dion Moses, and Pearl Dennis in Grenada, Leon John in Trinidad, Wendy Davis, Veronica Noel, Ann Corbin, Grace Harrigan, and Linda Francis in the USA, Anthony Rogers and Rosemary Moses in Canada, uncle of many including Ariana Mitchell, nephew of many including Hamilton, Ivan, Albie Rogers, and Velda Williams in Tortola, grand uncle of many, brother-in-law of Valin Francois and Kwesi Hamlet, close and dear friend of Anne Fletcher, Donnelly, Joy, and Londa Bernard, many cousins, other relatives and friends including Kevin, Cheryl Rogers, Ernestine Isaac, Sally Ann Williams in England, Kitson Williams in Tortola, friends and neighbors of Monsili and Ladigue. The funeral of the late Eric Martin Rogers of Monsili, who resided in Ladigue St. Andrew, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Albert Harris, also known as Albert Samuel and Cap, of Grove St. John, passed away on Sunday 26th September 2021 at the age of 68. The funeral arrangements for the late Albert Harris, also known as Albert Samuel and Cap, of Grove St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes.
Christiana Williams of Ladigue St. Andrew passed away on Thursday, 23rd September at the age of 89. The funeral for the late Christiana Williams of Ladigue St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Shelda Andrew, also known as Chucky of Happy Hill St. George, passed away on Thursday, 23rd September at the age of 65. The funeral of the late Shelda Andrew of Happy Hill St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Derek Simon, also known as Boyo, and Wilbur of Diamond St. Mark, who resided in New York, passed away on Thursday, 16th September at the age of 44. The funeral arrangements of the late Derek Simon will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Claudine Nichols of Woodland St. George passed away on Sunday, 26th September at the age of 60. The funeral service for the late Claudine Nichols of Woodland St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. David Kingsley Alistair Joseph of Hermitage St. Patrick passed away on Tuesday, 21st September at the age of 68. The funeral for the late David Kingsley Alistair Joseph of Hermitage St. Patrick will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Micah David Mackenzie, also known as Mr. Nelson and Brother Mac, of Carriacou, who resided at Mondelez St. Paul's, passed away on Friday, 24th September 2021, at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Micah David Mackenzie, also known as Mr. Nelson and Brother Mac, of Carriacou, who resided at Mondelez St. Paul's, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Errol Strawn, also known as Peck and Sweet Boy of Riverwood St. George, passed away on Saturday, 25th September at the age of 72. The funeral for the late Errol Strawn of Riverwood St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Norman Joseph Nichols, also known as Junior of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Sunday, 26 September at the age of 68. The funeral of the late Norman Joseph Nichols of New Hampshire St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. George Wells, also known as Rocky of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, 28th September at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements of the late George Wells, also known as Rocky, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Walter Ignatius McSween of Birch Grove St. Andrew, who resided at Douglaston St. John, passed away on Saturday, 4th September in Canada at the age of 92. The funeral of the late Walter Ignatius McSween of Birch Grove St. Andrew, who resided at Douglaston St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Joseph Hillaire, also known as David Charles and Davo of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Sunday, 19th September at the age of 89. The funeral service for the late Joseph Hillaire, also known as David Charles and Davo of Tivoli St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Ralda Ronda Batiste of Felix Park, Crowshoe St. Andrew, passed away on Sunday, September 26, 2021, at the age of 76. The funeral arrangements for the late Ralda Ronda Batiste of Felix Park, Crowshoe St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Rhodina Teresa Lydia Thomas of Rosehill St. Patrick passed away on Friday 24th September 2021 at the age of 71. The funeral arrangements for the late Rhodina Teresa Lydia Thomas of Rosehill St. Patrick will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Cecilia Phyllis Aberdeen of Telescope, who resided at Wells Road, Grenville, St. Andrew, passed away on Wednesday, 22nd September at the age of 90. The funeral arrangements of the late Cecilia Phyllis Aberdeen will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Arthur Moses of Redgate St. David passed away on Tuesday, 14th September 2021 at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Arthur Moses of Redgate St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Cephas Felix, also known as Patrick Thomas and Upsetter, of Crowshoe St. Andrew, who resided at John Anglais St. George, a former Calypsonian, passed away on Sunday 19th September 2021 at the age of 77. The funeral arrangements for the late Cephas Felix, also known as Patrick Thomas and Upsetter, of Crowshoe St. Andrew, who resided at John Anglais St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Alexander Klein of Carrick Hill St. Andrew died on Wednesday, 15th September 2021 at the age of 76. The funeral arrangements for the late Alexander Klein of Carrick Hill St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Maria Joseph Williams, also known as Aini, of Leicester Carriacou, who resided at Battle Hill St. Andrew, Grenada, passed away on Tuesday, 21st September 2021. The funeral arrangements for the late Maria Joseph Williams, also known as Aini, of Leicester Carriacou, who resided at Battle Hill St. Andrew, Grenada, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Devon Ferron Joseph Francisque of Montparnasse St. George passed away on Thursday, 16th September 2021 at the age of 47. The funeral arrangements for the late Devon Ferron Joseph Francisque of Montparnasse St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Eustace Lewis, also known as Tai E of Monkcraven St. Patrick, died on Monday, 20th September 2021 at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Eustace Lewis, also known as Tai E of Monkcraven St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Joan Davidson of Caliste, who resided at Grandon's House in Scheme St. George, passed away on Friday, 17th September 2021 at the age of 75. The funeral arrangements for the late Joan Davidson of Caliste, who resided at Grandon's House in Scheme St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Matthew Francois, also known as Ralph John, of Latost St. Patrick, passed away on Tuesday, 14th September 2021 at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Matthew Francois, also known as Ralph John of Latost St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Shirley Teresa Clement née Desrochers, also known as Cousin Shirley, of Petite Martinique, passed away on Saturday, 18th September 2021 at the age of 80. The funeral arrangements for the late Shirley Teresa Clement née Desrochers, also known as Cousin Shirley, of Petite Martinique, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Francisque, also known as Strongman, of St. David, who resided at 8 Blair Street, St. George's, passed away on Friday, 17th September 2021, at the age of 66. The funeral arrangements for the late Joseph Francisque, also known as Strongman, of St. David, who resided at 8 Blair Street, St. George's, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Alwyn Edmund Charles, also known as Mike, of Celeste St. Patrick, passed away on Thursday, 16th September 2021, at the age of 74. The funeral arrangements for the late Alwyn Edmund Charles, also known as Mike, of Celeste St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Alban Chester Alexander, also known as Chester Mark and Kayak, of Nunperel St. Mark, passed away on Saturday, 18th September 2021, at the age of 85. The funeral arrangements for the late Alban Chester Alexander, also known as Chester Mark and Kayak, of Nunperel St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Dickie Chetram of Woburn St. George passed away on Sunday, September 12, 2021, at the age of 51. The funeral arrangements for the late Dickie Chetram of Woburn St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Karen Lois Noel Bartholomew of Montrush St. George died on Wednesday, 15th September 2021, at the age of 48. The funeral arrangements for the late Karen Lois Noel Bartholomew of Montrush St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Anderson Houston, also known as Andy of Grand Anse St. George, passed away on Sunday, 12th September 2021, at the age of 44. The funeral arrangements for the late Anderson Houston, also known as Andy, of Grand Anse St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Angeline George of Caliste St. George, who resided in the USA, passed away on Tuesday, 17th August 2021, at the age of 61. The funeral arrangements for the late Angeline George of Caliste St. George, who resided in the USA, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Alice Angelina Francis, also known as Alice John and Connor, of Mongelou Carriacou, who resided at Brunswick, passed away on Wednesday, 25th August 2021, at the age of 100. The funeral arrangements for the late Alice Angelina Francis, also known as Alice John and Connor, of Mongelou Carriacou, who resided at Brunswick Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Jean Joseph of Beaulieu St. George passed away on Saturday, 21st August 2021 in Canada, at the age of 72. The funeral arrangements for the late Jean Joseph of Beaulieu St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes.
Wendell Jonathan Caliste, also known as Crop, of Riverwood St. George, passed away on Monday, 23rd August, at the age of 57. The funeral service of the late Wendell Jonathan Caliste, also known as Crop of Riverwood St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. The families of the late Doreen Holder, née Bola of Marion St. George, who passed away on 28 August 2021, would like to say a special thank you to everyone who supported them during their time of grief. In memory of you, If we could visit heaven, even for a day, maybe for a moment, the pain would go away. I would put my arms around you and whisper words so true that living life without you is the hardest thing to do. No matter how we spend our days, no matter what we do, no morning dawns or evening falls when we don't think of you. The funeral arrangements and interment were entrusted to Bailey's funeral home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
And verse 13, blessed is the day that died in the Lord. If your loved one died in the Lord, you have nothing to worry about. You could be confident that that one is in a better place. But what about you who are left behind to mourn? What if you had been called? Were you ready? If you are not ready, you can be ready while you're alive. The word of God says it's appointed unto man once to die, but after this is the judgment. So you can live, and after death, you're going to live forever. You would not be disintegrated into nothing. You would be living forever. So while you're alive is the time to be ready to meet the Lord. I would like to encourage you to give your life to the Lord Jesus Christ while you are still on the earth. There is no repentance after death. The time is now. The Lord Jesus Christ gave his life on the cross so that you can have life. And while you are living is the time to make it right with the Lord. Jonah said in Jonah chapter 4 and verse 3, it is better to die than to live. So the dead should be happy if they die in the Lord. If you are not sure that you are ready, if your time comes, you can be ready. You can be ready even at this very moment. If you'd only open your heart to receive the Lord Jesus Christ and pray this simple prayer. Just say, Lord Jesus, I am sad because my loved one has gone, but I am left behind and I want to be ready when my time comes. So I'm asking you to forgive me for my sins. I'm asking you to give me eternal life. Forgive me, cleanse me from all unrighteousness, and save me so that when my time comes, I can live with you. I trust that you meant what you said. I trust that you believe the word of God. And as we end this program with you, encouraging you, strengthening you in your time of sorrow, your preparation for your time should be now. God bless you, and see you next time. Amen.